But guys, instead of going back to e2, in this position white must consider capturing this knight on c6. And now here you can see that black have two options to capture this knight, either with the bishop or with the pawn, and it's better to capture this with the pawn. This is because you can see that this improves the pawn structure of black. But what's next? Here white can actually go for this move, which is e5, attacking this knight, but isn't just a free pawn. And suppose if black captured this pawn on e5, bishop to f4, attacking this queen, and where this queen can go, suppose if on h5, asking for queen exchange, simply bishop to f3, attacking this queen again. And clearly you can see that by this white almost completed his development and white is better. Okay, so in the actual game, after knight at d goes to e2, now here white can consider knight to d4, trying to exchange this knight, which activates the white queen. And in the next move, white can bring his rook to e1, but instead he goes for But guys, as you can see that this knight on e2 is not doing too much in this second rank. Instead of this moving this king, it's better for white to just bring this knight to f4, providing it a better outpost. Okay, so basically white wants to capture this b5 pawn with the knight, so that after recapture, as you can see that after this knight moves, you can see that this dark square bishop in the next move will get activated and with aligned with the queen, and white can actually grab this free knight. So that's why after seeing this all, Tal immediately brings back his knight to g6, getting out from any danger. Okay, here so basically black wants to place his bishop to f6, targeting this queen. But the problem with this move is that white can easily defend this by moving his queen to anywhere, and it also undevelops the knight back to 8th rank. Instead of this, here black can also consider to start pushing his h-pawn, launching an attack towards the king side. Now it's better for black to just bring back his knight to e7 so that it can guard this d5 so that it can guard this d5 pawn, which is attacked by this knight, bishop and this rook. But instead Tal goes for queen to c4. And now black have to just find this move, rook takes e1 check. This is because after takes, queen to d3 targeting these weak sides, and white can give a check, but this is of no use because simply king to h7, and now white have to bring back his queen to e1 because white have to guard this pawn, but now black can actually bring his king to g6. And as you can see that now white is run out of moves and he has now only some limited moves. So here for white the best move is to just give a check from f pawn, but simply king to h7. And now white can play knight to e2, but simply queen to e3 check, king to f1, queen to f3 check, king to g1, knight to e3, threatening mate on g2, and for this queen to f2, but now queen takes f2 check. This is because after takes, knight to d1 check, targeting this and this, And after this moves, simply knight takes b2, and yeah, black is winning. Okay, so in the actual game, after rook to e1, here Tal missed that move and instead he blundered by playing rook to c8. Now here black have multiple options like giving a check from b1 square, or black can just bring back his knight to f6 guarding this 8 square so that this rook on c8 can participate in the game. But here Tal takes on c3, taking benefit of this pinned bishop, but he forgets that now this game is completely equal. But why? This is because now you can see that no one is guarding this 8th rank, so that's why here black immediately gives a check from d8 square. And now I just want you all to pause the video and try to find that what can white play in this position to save the game. Here in this position, white can actually sacrifice his queen by queen to c2, and you cannot take this simply because of rook to h8 mate. So basically black rook on c3 is blocking the diagonal of this dark square bishop, and as you can see that now this rook is out of this square. This diagonal is now opened, and that's why rook to h8 is a checkmate supported by this bishop. So that's why after queen to c2, after this move, it's important for black to not capture this queen and instead to capture this pawn on g3 with his rook and with a check. And after king to h1, rook to h3 check, and obviously you can't go to this g2 square due to knight to e3 check, and white has to lose his queen. So that's why you can see that after multiple checks, again you cannot go there because you can see that this is losing. So that's why white has to just go to these squares, and this position will automatically becomes equal. But here instead of this queen to c2, here white sacrificed his rook. This is because you can see that after takes, simply queen to d4 check, and after this king moves, queen takes c3, but it's better to capture this with the bishop. Here g4 might be the better option for white, because now Tal immediately goes for knight to d6 with the idea of knight to c4 targeting this pawn on a3. And in this position white resigned. This is because this pawn on b5 can be easily stopped by this black knight. But who is going to stop this black pawn on g6? Nobody. This is your host Bison signing off. Bye bye.